Okay. I think I'm all situated. Let me go grab myself some coffee and then we'll be ready to start. I'll go ahead and start loading the game in the meantime. Yeah, if I can rename the files that are hosted, I'll go ahead and renumber them more appropriately. I'm not sure if I can do that or not, but if I can, I will. And the rest of them that go up will be more conventionally numbered. So, welcome or welcome back. Not sure, can't see who's on the viewers list other than Nova right now. If you're new, welcome. If you're coming back to revisit our, I was going to say that was looking a little black, our game from the last couple days, welcome back. This is a continuation of the game we started on release day. Distant Worlds Universe released. What is today? Today's Wednesday, so it was released a few days ago now. And we are now some 38 years into the game, if I recall correctly. 39 years into the game. And we have finally hit some milestones. Last session we left the Age of Shadows as we managed to finish the colonization tech. Build and plant our first colonies. So our empire, fledgling empire, is now 5 colonies strong. And several of these are max population colonies. That's our capital, it's maxed out. This one's a little less than max right now because I built a colony ship and shipped some people off, and some people are starting to move around among the various colonies. That one's maxed out at 4 and almost 5 billion people, and that's our newest colony in our home system. We have one more colony in our home system that I do believe we're building a colony ship with right now, or to take that in-system colony right now. Let's take a quick look here at our spaceports. Yeah, colony ship here, about 50% complete. That will get the last colony in our home system. And let's see, show potential colonies. It's probably going to be the last colony we can easily grab at this point. So we have 2 colonies with a third coming up in our home system, Morisham. And we have a neighboring race of friendly Shandar right next to us, and we're hoping to culturally flip these over to our way of thinking. They're the same race as we are. They started right next to us in game, and our cultural influence isn't quite enough to have them flip over to us at the moment. The first colony that we obtained up here in the Ziltra system did that. At the very end of our first play session, they decided to, they were an independent colony, and they decided to join my empire. So that was our first colony. Our second colony was actually here in the Shandar system, which we are the race of Shandar, so I figured we should probably do something here. And there had been 2 pirate factions vying for control of this system, that planet, and this planet here, Shandar 2. This race here, this is a pirate race that you can see all these ships at, had originally taken control of this planet. They had built all 3 pirate facilities. Looks like somebody managed to rebuild one here. They had built all 3 pirate facilities and had actually taken control, but almost immediately after they did a second pirate race, which we were actually hostile with, flipped it and managed to take control of it. And I'm not sure exactly how that happened. In my experience playing as a pirate race, that is a longer term process, it seemed, but it did flip it, and since we were at war with that particular pirate faction, we went ahead and invaded it and captured this colony and subsequently destroyed all 3 facilities on it. I see there is another, they're back. It's the Cruel Corsairs that we've been fighting, and it looks like they are back and they have a hidden pirate base built again, so we'll have to get rid of that. The problem we have at the moment is this pirate faction. I'm not strong enough to fight them off. They are actually an empire pirate nation now. They're trying to capture this planet. They don't have any of the facilities on it yet, but they're doing their best to capture that planet. And they have already captured a planet up here in Zartan Junction. You see that names in brown, that's their color. They've actually captured this colony, and that means they are a full-fledged pirate empire, and they can actually build colony ships and construction ships right now. So they are pretty serious business at this point for us. We can come up here to diplomacy and come down and look at their stats. They are sitting on almost 200 ships and 8,500 firepower. Right now our total firepower is somewhat less than that. I don't know if we can actually get an idea here. So the Ancient Guardians are 90,000. We've got a little less than 10% of that. So we're probably sitting between 7,000 and 8,000 firepower ourselves. So we're getting close to possibly being able to mess with these guys, but I am not quite ready to make that move yet. We do know where are their... Oh, we can't see their flags right now. We do know they have bases in some of these systems over here. Okay, there's one in Dra. They have a, I think it's just a mining base here probably. They have 2 or 3 over here somewhere. There's another one. That's a spaceport, if I remember correctly, over there. So they do have a couple more bases that we do know about. I'm not sure why they're not showing up on the map. Maybe once we actually unpause the game, they'll pop up. But we do know of a few of them, and again, they have a control of a planet up here as well. So it's going to be a bit of a fight to kick them, knock them back a peg or two. Now these guys are cousins, the Shandar Consortium or whatever they are, Harmony. They've been fighting that pirate faction, so I'm kind of letting them beat their heads against each other, and hopefully these guys here can knock the pirates down a peg or two and allow us to intervene. Meanwhile, we have discovered some 25 empires, which is interesting because the game was originally set up as a 1400 star, 15 by 15 sector, 19 empire game. And we can look here at the diplomacy, and these, let's see, from the Yaga Hive up are all empire races now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 29, there's more, 29 empire races right now. What happens is independent colonies can become empires. It's one of the game options that I set up. So we started with 19 empires, and there's now, what did I say, 29? In addition to that, there's another 20 some odd pirate factions out and about. So space is a bit busy, and it's going to get busier as some of us are actually starting to expand a little bit. Right now, the biggest cluster and the biggest potential for intergalactic wars probably over here on the Western Front, is there's 4 races all clustered together in this little star cluster. Quantumos are kind of stuck in the middle of 2 clusters with not much place to expand. They've got gas clouds off to their south and west, so they either have to go northwest or or southeast, I mean, and there's not much down here to colonize. Now they are a ocean planet race, so there's probably something down here they can move into, and there's certainly stuff up there. But their nearest star system is empty. This one has just 1 planet in it, and that one has just 1 planet in it. It's got marble in it too. So they don't have a lot of room for expansion. We can see a bunch of pirates down here in the corner. This is the Quantumo, or maybe that's the Quantumo just mining over there. Maybe they're not pirates. Nope, they aren't. They're the Quantumo Force. I thought they were pirates. So a bunch of pirates. We've got some pirates, the fierce mining up here that we're getting ready to start tangling with. Now there is a possibility that one of the pirates managed to steal a planet destroyer. There was a area up here with a bunch of ruined abandoned ships in addition to an abandoned planet destroyer, and one of the pirate factions was here, and they were starting to repair that planet destroyer. In the meantime, I brought a couple construction ships up here and basically repaired and stole all of the advanced ships up there, and they are now either part of my fleet or a couple of the smaller ones. The frigates were disassembled for tack. But at the point where I was repairing the last 2 ships, he still had 237 components left on that planet destroyer requiring repair. So I figured I had plenty of time. Well, I repaired the last ship, and at the point where I only had 4 components left was the last time I checked that planet destroyer, and there were 237 components unrepaired. Well, my ship repair completed. I came up here to to claim my ships, and I was going to send a fleet up to chase the pirate destroyer out, and found that planet destroyer was gone. So I am not sure what happened there. I don't know if something triggered and it disappeared, it exploded. I don't think it did, because it probably would have damaged my ships. They were clustered fairly close. Or if they didn't need to fully repair it in order to claim the destroyer. I have no idea. I do know that I forget which faction it was. It was one of the purple pirate factions. I think it was Dark Salvage. They only have 77 ships and 4,000 firepower on those 77 ships, so I tend to think that maybe they did manage somehow to get it. I don't know, but we'll have to... Yeah, well, like I said, I'd been keeping a really close eye on it, and their repair was extremely slow. I repaired all 5 ships in the time that they managed to repair 20 or 30 components on that particular ship. So I had planned on just claiming the ships and then chasing the construction ship away. But every time I popped back to the system, I checked the status of repair on the Planet Buster, and it was going very slowly. Like I said, I repaired all 5 ships. I had 2 or 3 construction ships up here repairing them, and I repaired all 5 ships in the time it took them to repair 30 or so odd components on the ship. So I don't know. They might have got it. If so, then we're going to have to watch out for it. Overall, I certainly out firepower the pirate faction. So I'm not extremely concerned, and if I can find it, I will and if they do have it, if I can find it, I'll certainly work on capturing or destroying it, because I can't let that fall into the pirates' hands. Those that haven't caught up on my YouTubes or haven't managed to catch the live stream, I'm playing this as a not quite a pacifistic race, but not overtly hostile against the other empires. I'm trying to culturally assimilate races, but I am going to take a very hard stance against piracy in this playthrough. So we'll see where that leads me. The game could theoretically end in about 11 years' time. Minimum victory conditions trigger at the 50-year point, but nobody's even 40%, 30% right now to the 80% threshold required. Now, if it comes down to it, well, you can see we're in third overall, with a fairly decent amount of our racial victory conditions, but it'll be the economic, population, and territorial that really make or break us in that regard. We do have another race as part of our empire, but I don't think they're quite assimilated enough either. Okay, we do have a bonus from having the Quanamo in our starting to assimilate into our race. We have a 4% research bonus from the Quanamo right now, so maybe. Let's see. None of the continental planets are showing up as colonizable yet, though, so I don't have a big enough Quanamo population, I guess, to start building colony ships for continental. I think, I might be wrong, but I think if I had a significant enough population of a race that natively inhabits another planet, then I can automatically colonize that other planet. But I could be wrong there. I might have to do the research or capture a planet of that type before I can build colony ships of the other types. I cannot remember the exact mechanic of that. Now here is one race. There's two races that if we actually decided to go hostile that we would have to consider. One is this empire over here. They're fairly small with not a lot of room to expand. I do have colonization limit set at 1.5 sectors. So unless one of these two planets here are colonizable by this race, they cannot jump any further east. They could jump north. But the reason I'm looking at this race is they managed to steal this out from underneath my I had a construction ship en route. They managed to grab this planet, which has one of the all-important luxury resources, Loros fruit. Megalos nut is okay, but Loros fruit is one of the top 3 luxury resources. And yes, I certainly feel like there is progress as you go through the tech tree. Now, one of the reasons for that in this particular game is when I set up the game, I did set the research cost at maximum. So that makes it even more of a sense of accomplishment when you manage to complete a tech. Let me turn that title off so it's not off the top of the screen there. The game is extremely customizable from the start, and again, this particular game setup, since I decided I was going to stream it from day one. I decided I was going to showcase as much of the gameplay as possible, which is why I selected max size, max number of stars, max number of empires, with independent spawning as well. The only thing I did turn down a bit was the space monsters, and in hindsight that might have been a bit over the top. I mean, I took it from normal to few. The thing is, we haven't found any space creatures yet, so maybe their tuning of it in between the Shadows and Universe release, I might not have had to do that. I just used the slider and put it at max, whatever the max was, probably 960K. You can also type in a specific amount. You don't have to go straight to the slider. The slider has, I think, 4 presets. And then there's also a text box where you can type in a value. I think difficult is 480 and max is 960 probably. I'm guessing. I'd have to actually run a setup again to show that off for sure, but I just went with the slider on max, which made for a fairly slow start, which is what I wanted. Get a lot of explanation out in the YouTube videos in the early, the first few sessions of the game. For those that have been following from the beginning or are watching the YouTubes, they get a lot of explanation of the game in that early stage because the game was starting out slow. And it's going to continue somewhat slow because of the research, but we just, it took us, if I recall correctly, about 14 years to get out of our own solar system. We finished colonization and planted our first colony at about the 35-year mark or thereabouts. We just finished carriers research at the end of the last session, so at year 39 we have our fledgling carriers being built. Well, I don't know. It could depend. I always generally start as a random race, just for something different. If you have if you're playing just the stock game, it would depend on maybe what you want to do. If you want to play a intelligence, an espionage race, I would pick one of the races with a high intelligence. If you want to play a merchant race, there's some races that have merchant bonuses. So you might do that, decide what you want to play, what style you want to play, and then like these guys are cunning schemers, so they have a spy bonus. If you want to play a hostile race, you can also look at the victory conditions for the race. Unless you're playing a pure sandbox, there's racial victory conditions. So, for instance, these guys here. Their victory condition is destroy the most enemy ships, conquer the most colonies. So if you want to play a more hostile, yep, that's another thing. If you want to do that, another one for, and in that case, I would probably go with one of the insectoid races. They probably have the highest population bonus. Let's see what we have here. Well, let's do it this way. It's easier if I come up here, go up to the alien races, and I can actually just scroll through the Galactopedia. Reproduction rate. Unfortunately, there you go. Take the Atux. Reproduction rate of 28%. Well, I don't know. I've not really played any sandbox myself, so I can't comment on that. I'll take your word for it. I was thinking about doing a sandbox as a future playthrough. I think my next playthrough after this one might be a pirate faction. The Gazurian 30% reproduction. That's probably about the highest you're going to find. So if you're looking at something like that, what are their they're aggressive, cautious, unfriendly, stupid, and unreliable. They also have ship savings of 35%, which is nice. Spend the most time. They're also aggressive. Spend the most time at war in the galaxy, and build the most military ships for victory conditions, among other things. So maybe that's the race for you to pick. There you go. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pause and actually start the game. I do have it set on 1 hour autosaves. I'll be running 3 to 4 hours of this, then I'll be taking a short break, and then coming back later this afternoon with a playthrough of something else. I just haven't decided what else yet. And then this game will be continued maybe a little bit Saturday morning, otherwise Sunday will be the next time you'll see a playthrough of this particular game, I'm suspecting. Okay, our friends over here are giving us money. 4,500 credits. Why, thank you. Okay, we got another new empire, and it is another pirate faction. They want to give us discovery. If it's G3 again, I'm going to shoot you. No, it's E5. Hey, let's go see what's in E5. E5, it's here where there is already a fledgling empire. An independent colony has just become an empire up here. We know about them evidently. But there's also something up here. Yeah, it's already been discovered, I'm sure. It's already been investigated, I'm sure. That's the 40 race mod, right? Extended universe. That's what I'm running, if that's the case. It's the only mod that I have right now. I'm hoping they get the gem graphics enhancement mod fixed for this. I haven't looked in the last couple days to see if it was fixed. Evidently, one or two of the planet textures was a bit buggy in that mod with shadows. So I'm kind of waiting to take a look and see if it's fixed. Okay, so the Boskar conformity, which is... Let's see who they are and where they are to see whether we want to intervene. So it's these guys. Capital is unknown. Okay, so we don't know where they are. I have made a secret deal with the pirate faction, the Dirty Skyjackers, to attack the ships and bases of the Yor territory. Now we know where the Yor is, I'm pretty sure. Your sovereignty. Your territory. Maybe we don't know where they are. No, we don't know where they are. So I'm guessing we have a couple races in one of these clusters up here that we don't have knowledge of yet. Are hiring pirates to attack the other empire. I'm just going to keep the information to myself. One, I don't know where they are, so I don't know if I want to intervene on either side. Oh. Getting the mods, at least the ones that are I've taken a look at, are posted, is just a matter of going to the forum, downloading the file, takes about 30 seconds most of them, and putting it into your custom folder, and that's it. There's very little else to do with most of the mods, especially these early ones. Now some of the more complex mods that are being written, which completely rewrites the tech tree or the resources available, etc., might take a little bit more effort. Okay, what do we have going on up here? We have a construction ship of the Quantumo Force trying to... They also have a they have a capital ship. What's the firepower? 612 firepower on that capital ship. So what's going on up here? Are they competing for this? I think they're competing for this planet here, which is in the territory of the Pirate Empire. Yeah, combining mods, certain mods are a bit more work, I'm sure. I guess combining any mods would be just a little bit more because the you only have one theme to choose from. So, what's going on up here? We've got a pirate. Oh yeah, they're probably refueling at my base. Unknown mission. Yeah, they're refueling at my planet. That's fine. We'll get a little bit of income from them refueling at me, and I'm keeping that until I'm ready to actually lay the hammer down on this this colony up here, the pirate colony. I'm pretty much trying to stay peaceful with them. Okay, we've got one of our bases. Okay, that must be... Now you can see we have trade ships. For those that aren't familiar with the tactical display, The circular icons are your civilian merchant fleet, basically. The triangulars are military ships. The square icons are your support ships, construction ships, etc. And diamonds are your exploration and colony ships. So you can see we have a lot of merchants going back and forth between us and probably this empire up here. I don't know. Let's see. We probably have some. Did we put? I think we put a mining station down somewhere up here. A gas mining station. Did we have another pirate empire up here, maybe? Nah, yeah, we do. Looky here. We have a pirate empire, another one. So the pirates are getting pretty active here. And this is important because when pirates start out, they don't own any colonies, which means they cannot build any colony ships or construction ships. They would have to capture colony ships or construction ships to have them available at first. But once they actually have full control of a colony, like they do here as well, they become more like an empire. In that they can build those colony ships and expand like a normal empire. So we got a second pirate faction now that we know of with capability to expand. Can't colonize it. Now some of these independents we're certainly going to have to consider invading in order to assimilate another race type and getting the capability to colonize different planet types. But that one is probably a bit too far away. I certainly could not support any kind of defense of that population. Okay. Let's take a quick look at our outliner. We have all of our construction ships are busy. Looks like we have an exploration ship not busy at the moment. Looks like he just refueled. So we'll put him back on auto. At this point, I've got all my exploration ships pretty much on auto. Well, my next playthrough will probably be playing something a bit more aggressive. Yes, if you expand too fast, you'll get yourself in trouble. You need a stable economy, and you need to, because you need the stable economy in order to build up a fleet that is capable of acting in multiple areas. Even right now, I'm not going to be expanding too much more. I only have a cash flow of 15,000 right now based on the payments that I'm making to pirates and the my fleet size. And I'm going to start canceling pirate agreements once my first 2 carriers are built here, I do think. So the pirates are coming up here to defend their whatever was going on up here in their home system, it looks like. Got a lot of activity up here too. What's going on up here? We have a mining station. Looks like there's a lot of ships, independents, that are just floating in space here. I wonder if they were fleeing from a battle somewhere. They're mining ships, so they may be pirates, but they don't have a pirate. There's a damaged mining ship. I don't know if repairing that would do any good or not. I don't think it would. It's still an independent. It's not abandoned. Okay, we got a ship completed its mission. Was this a Research, nope, mining station. Okay, we did want to take a look and balance out our research a little bit because we're very heavily skewed right now away from high-tech research. So I need to build, well, I think I have another high-tech research station being built though, don't I? Let's come back down here and verify. We had a high-tech research station at one of these planets earlier, and it got sabotaged and destroyed. Construction ship is queued to build a high-tech there, so let's take a look and see if there's any place else we can build a research lab. Looks like there's a couple potential locations here, including one in our own system. 21% bonus to high-tech, so we'll build another. Actually, no, we're going to retrofit that ship, and then we'll queue something to build a high-tech research station over there. What star bases? I have a couple star bases, if that's, but those were captured star bases. Not sure exactly what you're talking about. New ship captain has appeared. He is weapons range increase. He's on one of the frigates. Let's move him to one of my destroyers. Just pick one at random. Exploration ship under attack. Not too worried about it. He'll either escape or not. Our intelligence network has uncovered. Okay, so our counter-espionage is working at finding some of these type of things out, it seems. In this case, the Boskor Conformity have made a secret pact with the Dirty Skyjackers to attack the ships and bases of the Yor territory. The Yor territory is under extreme duress here by multiple factions. Let's take a look and see what our intelligence agent is doing, if anything. We have two. One's staying on counter-espionage. He's not doing anything right now. Since we don't know where the Yor territory is, that sounds like a good thing to find. Steal territory map. 1 year, 85% chance. Yes. Yep. I generally am going to use those above planets where I don't plan on doing a lot of building. They're generally decent. If I'm not going to do a lot of building, like here in my home system, for instance, I have 3 colonizable planets. I'm generally not going to put spaceports up on the other 2 planets in the system, but I might put a star base in addition to the defensive bases that I have in orbit. Disliked. Our ambassador is disliked. Minus 10 tourism income. Okay. I'm not sure exactly what tourism income on an ambassador does. Bonus or penalty. I was actually on the Matrix forums just before I started this up, and they were talking about spaceports versus star bases. Independent population of Hakonish. Let's see where they are. Well, one, they've got the Dirty Skyjackers there. It is a marshy swamp, which would be a good addition to our empire. They're also, they're not that far away. This was the direction we were planning on making our first leap from our parent cluster. So there's a couple possibilities here. What was in this one? I forget. Oh, this one's just a neutron star with the scenery bonus. Maybe you have to build a station there. Oh. I don't have colonies selected, that's why. Potential colonies. What's our total population of I'm not sure if I can see my total population breakdown without going planet by planet. Yeah, that's not too hard to do, I guess. So it's all Shandar there. 38 million Quantimo, 37 million Quantimo. So we've got about 70 million Quantimo. Certainly not enough for colonization. I accepted everything this morning before I started up. You should have me showing as a having accepted here before I started this. I took a look at the list. We really need to find a direction to expand to, because our cluster is pretty much dead for expansion from this point unless I can come up with another territory type. Let's see, are all our independent military ships busy? This one is not. Oh, that's a troop transport, that's why. I don't want them to be doing anything. Everything else, independents are busy. Okay, Fleet 1 is my home defense fleet. It's got 17 ships, 1,400 firepower. And this fleet is my attack fleet. It's got 1,700 firepower. Now I have carriers, should be coming out. Did they get completed and I miss it? I don't. Let's take a look at our construction yards again. No, I don't see. So evidently, yeah, construction yards are empty. Evidently, my carriers got completed. I did set them, queue them up to, or maybe, oh, that's one of them. Maybe I just didn't join it to the fleet at the end of the session. So let's go join nearest fleet. No, I want to take manual control of this and do it this way. So we will go to our military ships, sort by role. Okay, evidently we only built one carrier. We'll put him into our cap fleet and build another carrier down here in our solar defense fleet. Remind me when I take a break and I'll verify that, but I'm pretty sure I caught all the friend requests on Steam. Okay, where's my home colony up here? There we go. Open up the ship construction yard. Oops. Okay, I must not have looked at the right thing. It looks like he's building his carrier here. Except that's not a carrier, that's a colony ship. Ah! That's the colony that I've selected, not the spaceport. Let's try the spaceport. So I have my last colony ship just about completed there, I saw. What is being built here? Didn't show up on my ship's screen. Construction yards. Large spaceport. Okay. Nothing is showing. Oh, it's okay, I'm confused what's going on here. That's the docking base, not the construction yard. Hello there, Ranger. How are you doing? Construction yard. There we go. No carrier, so we'll build our second carrier here in this yard. Okay, I am going to start. Let's go down and find out who we have protection agreements with. I'm going to start canceling a couple of them. These guys I've almost wiped out. He's got one ship left somewhere, and I have not been able to find it. He's got a bunch of freighters still. Okay, so we're paying protection to Dark Salvage, which is 81 ships and 4,000 firepower strong. They're a possibility for canceling an agreement with. We don't want to cancel with this one. This is one I don't want to cancel with right now. We're probably about even in firepower, but he's right there in the middle of my system, and I'm not quite ready to tangle with him. Okay, these are ones that we're going to cancel. 103 ships, but only 4,000 firepower. Cancel. 167 ships. Fierce Mining, I'm going to keep this one. They're kind of above my north right now. But when I start to expand, that is the direction that I will be expanding against pirates that are not in my cluster right at the moment. 81 ships and 6,000 firepower. Let's see if we can figure out where these guys are. If they're not near, we're going to cancel our agreement with them. These guys. Oh, that's the Blood Daggers. I don't think they're really close enough that I have to worry about them, so we're going to cancel that one. And what I'm doing is basically going through and I'm trying to bump up my income a bit. I'm paying just a bit too much in pirate protection at the moment. Now, I always have the option of if one of them become hostile, I always have the option of going back and renegotiating. But these weaker ones, I'm not going to bother paying off if they're as weak as they appear. 31 ships, 2,000 firepower. I am not in the least bit worried about them. Now, I don't want to have too many angry with me, because I only have 2 fleets and they can only be in so many places at once. That jumped my income from 10,000, cash flow from 10,000 to 50,000, so that will be a big boost. That'll allow me to mount a bigger military. Yeah, I am a bit concerned about the planet destroyer that just disappeared on me. I have yet to figure out what happened with that. We see a strike force up here. What's going on? The Haku Syndicate are okay. So the Haku Syndicate are fighting the Fierce Miners. That's good. And maybe if they appear to be successful, I will attack the Fierce Miners from the south, and we'll see if we can eradicate some of them. Okay, let's move my task force, my first carrier task force, up into position for a possible move to the north. Yes, I am a bit concerned about the planet destroyer that disappeared from under my nose. I don't know what happened to it. There just seems to be no way that they would have been able to... I might need a little bit more range on one or more of my ship types here. I started out at max fuel on them, but one or more of the ships in this fleet are limiting my range. Might be the troop transport. Critical breakthrough on enhanced storage. So let's take a look at what I'm researching right now real quick. We had just completed the tactical interceptors, which gave us our carriers. Now I decided to go down and work on my ground troops. I'm doing improved assault tactics and armored ground assault, which will allow us to build the planetary facility of an armored factory. Well, the one pirate, it was a pirate faction that was repairing the ship, but it had, like I said, when I checked, it had 237 damaged components still, and I had there was a group of 5 abandoned advanced tech ships with it. I had repaired and captured all 5 of the ships in the time it took them to repair 30 or 40 of the components. So there seems to be no way that he could have finished the repair. He had 237 components left when I had 5 on the final ship. But when my final ship completed and I went up there, the planet destroyer was gone. So I really don't know what happened to it. The faction that was rebuilding it has a small number of ships and it has a fairly significant firepower, but I outgun him 3-1 even with that. So if he does have it, I'm going to have to keep an eye open for it. If he does have it, I'm going to either have to go destroy or capture it, but I have to find it first. And again, I have no idea what happened to it. It was just too much left to repair when I checked. So I don't know. Anyway, so we're doing an improved assault and armored ground, so that's going to give me our first planetary facility to build when I complete that tech. Basically tanks, which will improve my attacks against the hidden pirate bases that I'm encountering. Over here, we're doing damage control. We're almost done with that. We've done the component prefab, which gave us our 400 size ship. Now it says, I might go ahead and do the accelerated as well. It says that the Bakaris, Wonder already built. Bakaris High Speed Shipyards, Wonder already built. But I don't know that that is actually the case. I started hyperdrive inhibiting because I disassembled the tech and got some of that. I think I'm going to go to accelerated construction after that. And just in case. The other thing I wanted to do is take a look at shields. We have massive shield protection, planetary shield that I'm going to start working toward as well. So we're going to go queue up our shield reinforcement and massive shield projection as well. And then over here in the high tech, we're catching up on some things. Again, this is our worst tech right now as far as total research capacity. I do have 2 high tech stations being built. That'll improve it. So I'm getting some of these basic things out of the way right now. Eventually I'm going to have to come up here and grab another colony type. One of the racial conditions is I have to build the Lava Palace Resort, which is way down here at the end of the tech tree, which means I'm going to have to come along this line here to get that. So we may queue up continental colonization here in the near future. Right now, enhanced storage is going to improve our fuel cell and cargo bay capacities without having to do a refit. Coordinated control will lower our maintenance costs, and we need to improve our research as well, so we'll queue that up. So much to research and so little research capability. Yeah, I have. Speaking of which, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to do something here. Probably, I'll stop and do it. I'll wait till after the save game, which is probably coming up shortly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 destroyer types available. And I'm going to explain what I'm going to do. Again, once I actually build the second destroyer type, I'll explain what I'm doing and how I'm going to use these. Boskar Conformity is again attacking the ships of the Yor, so that's the same deal we've been seeing on and off. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a combat destroyer class and a boarding destroyer class. So I'm going to have 2 consecutive destroyer designs side by side, which if I had on AI automation for building my fleets and military would not work very well because it would only consider one as a buildable design. But because I'm doing manual on all of my military builds and fleet designs, I'm able to build 2 different destroyers by going into the construction yards directly, as you've seen me do a few times now, and selecting a particular design to build. If I use just the build order screen, it would just have available, I think. No, actually, I could actually differentiate here, but I could only build one type at a time. So I could either build my troop or my my assault or my combat destroyer if I did it that way. But if I go into individual construction yards, I could have one construction yard building assault destroyers and one construction yard building combat destroyers. Okay, we have another monetary gift, minor one, but hey, we'll take it. And increase the population growth skill level on our colony governor. Now we want to move that colony governor. We want to move that colony governor to one of our new planets with a low population, which means it will be probably population 80 million. I think that's the one to move to. That one's at max pop. That one's not max, but he's close. So yeah, we're going to move our colony governor down to Mersham 2 and get that population boost. We're not building any more colony ships right now, which is the main reason I had left him up at Zintor, because he had a colony ship construction speed bonus. So we're going to move him down to Mersham 2 and get that population boost down here. Is our colony ship done? It should be. I'm hitting the X key to cycle through my exploration and colony ships here, and my colony ship should be done. All components normal, so we're going to come down here to the final planet in the system that we can colonize and colonize that planet. Now this mine that is on it will basically be disassembled, and the components will get put into storage here. Okay, we've improved assault tactics is done, so our attack strength of newly recruited inventory is higher. Your territory is imposing trade sanctions on us. We don't even know where you are. We'll find out soon enough. In the meantime, look at all our civilian ships going up here, and what are they doing? Let's take a look. You are transporting Castellon. Yeah, we do have a gas mining base up there. Is that what you're all doing? No, you're all going to my actual mining stations. I thought you were going to actually trading with the other bases, or the other races up here. Some of them are. This guy's coming back, and he's transporting Castellon and helium. What are you doing? You are transporting hydrogen. And we do have a, this is our mining stations being overwhelmed by the Vulcan major cultural influence here. It's not going to do anything, although they're probably going to be less happy with me because I have mining inside their territory right now. Let's see, who are you? Teekans? Yeah. Teekans, they like our style of government, they respect our reputation. Our colonies and star bases trespass on our systems. We get a -5 penalty for that, so it's not a big deal at this point. And I had to put it up here because I needed some sort of gas up here in this sector to support my star base. That is right here, and this was a boarded, abandoned star base. Nope, that's the mining station. Here. Spaceport, yeah, there we go. Was an abandoned spaceport that I found and took control of just so I could have a little bit of control in this sector of space. Ship captain is now a skilled navigator, which gives a hyper jump speed boost. And I believe that boost is not the actual speed, but the hyperspeed initiation time, or how long it takes to actually enter hyperspeed once you start. I'm not entirely sure about that. I'll actually do some experimentation with it here in the near future. Okay, so we now have a Is that a research? Yeah, we got our research station done there. They impose trade sanctions on us, and a month later they lift the trade sanctions. Okay, this is where? That's in our home system, or our second system, right? So I'm going to go ahead and do some more mining up here. Most of these things are unmined because I didn't have the available. That looks like a good one to mine. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. That one's already upgraded, I do believe. I do need to verify my construction ships are all upgraded. Yeah, he's upgraded. Looks like I had another construction ship available, so we'll get a couple mining stations pop down there. Yes, I'm in an irregular cluster map. Or a varied clustered map, I think. If that's what you're talking about. Something different. I normally go with either a... my favorite is usually just the irregular map, where everything's just kind of evenly spread. But I figured with this particular playthrough, it will put a lot of regional conflicts together before the cream rises to the top and some larger empires pop up and start to take control over larger areas. I might have done even clusters if I'd thought about it, but this is interesting. I didn't have the greatest start area either. I mean, I'm in a fairly small cluster with nothing to really expand to my south. That's all gas clouds to my south. And not much really directly to the west either, or to the east. And a whole host, there was a whole line of planets immediately above me, of star systems immediately above me, completely devoid of planets or resources. So I had a pretty poor starting location, but we're making do with it. Okay, after this save is done, now I can go in and go through, take a quick look at my ship designs. I particularly want to take a look at existing designs and make sure they have a decent range at this point. I do have, I did improve my ship size capability so I can safely add a couple engines and or fuel cells to my existing designs, and I'm also going to design my assault destroyer, make sure I have an assault destroyer class and a combat destroyer class. I'm really thinking about getting energy torpedoes. I don't have that yet for my combat destroyers, but we'll have to make do with something else for now. Kind of limited. I have beam weapons. I don't have rail guns. I have beam weapons and I have missiles and I have fighters right now. So I am kind of limited in that regard. I also want to take a look. I think I have one more frigate that I can disassemble. One more of the advanced frigates. I'm keeping the destroyers and cruisers. I do believe I have one more frigate to disassemble and hopefully get a phaser lance tech or something like that out of it. So we'll go into the design. Has anybody not seen me do ship design from scratch at this point that wants to see from scratch design? While I'm taking a look at my upgrades, I'll let everybody think about that for a minute. If you need to see one from scratch, then I can do it. Otherwise, I'll just take an existing design and modify it for my assault destroyer. Okay, so the range on these ships are a bit on the small side right now. Speed is good. This is my escort class, so speed is good. Weapons are good. I'm just going to add add one more shield and then some fuel cells. I guess we can add targeting and countermeasures too if they're not already on. There's no targeting and there's no countermeasures, so we'll put one of each of those on. Okay, I'll do the combat destroyer or the assault destroyer from scratch then. It doesn't take too long, and we'll try to get a minimum of a 4-sector range on these ships. Size is 220, so that's good for the escort. And again, right now I'm upgrading my existing designs to make sure I have a decent range on them. Annual, you have countermeasures and targeting. You have a range of 5 sectors already, so the frigate class is good. The troop transport, I think, is the one that was low on the range, a little bit. What's its speed? 16. I might bump that up a little bit as well. Now the troop transport ships are more for planetary invasions, and these can hold 900 troops right now, or 9 units. It's got we can add a little bit more armor too, and then just some fuel cells, and this will be good. Now as soon as I finish researching the advanced storage, which I am 93% done, these ranges will go up even more because they're improvements to the existing. So it'll be about a 20% increase in range roughly. So there's that, and I just did the carrier, so it should be okay. Yeah, range of 5 sectors, so the carrier's good. I know the exploration ship's good. The construction ships I'm trying to keep somewhat limited. 6 sectors, yeah, that's good for those, and the exploration ships I know are good. Okay, so we'll take a look at my existing destroyer class right now. At this moment, it has 2 assault pods, so this will be my, I'm going to pull those off. This will be my combat destroyer. Pull the 2 assault pods off. Range is 5 sectors, so that's good. Speed is 15. I'm going to bump that up by adding a couple more engines. Shield is good. Armor, I'm going to add a little bit of armor. And then I will add 2-point defense. And this is starting to get big for a destroyer. We'll pull the tractor beam off since it's not the boarding ship any longer. We'll pull the tractor beam off. And we'll keep just weapons on it. Point defense, concussions, and Maxos blasters. A firepower of 72. Okay, so I like that for my destroyer. Okay, now I'm going to build a boarding destroyer. An assault destroyer, basically. So we'll create a new. Now there's, for those that have seen me before, what I would normally do is I would actually copy that existing destroyer as new and then strip the weapons and add the assault stuff, but we'll go ahead and do this as a new one. It's still a destroyer class, but what we're going to do here is work against stronger opponents. We're going close in. Against weaker opponents, we're going close in. Actually, we'll go point blank. That's going to get us as close and as quick as possible. Now, because this is a boarding ship, well, let's start at the beginning. For those that haven't seen the explanation of the screen, the top left is your ship design, your role, and your overall strategies. Might not have seen this. This is new to Universe. This is your image scaling. This is how the size of the ship as it will appear on map. It is not changing this does not affect its combat capabilities at all, but because I want to differentiate this a little bit from the other destroyer class, I'm going to make it look a bit smaller on map. I'll take it down to 75% of the size of the other one, so to help me possibly pick it out, differentiate it a little bit more. The left side, left center is the list of all components available to put on the design, you can uncheck this box, and this will be every component that you can build that you have ever researched. This might be useful if you had certain types of mineral shortages, or if you wanted to save minerals for certain builds and not use them on others. Generally speaking, though, you're only going to use your latest components available. The center is a list of all components on the build. Top right is your energy production from your reactors, your fuel storage, and energy use. The middle is your movement stats. The bottom center is your offensive stats, bottom but right is your defensive stats, and just above that is industry stats, which is if the ship is capable of mining, manufacturing, or research. It also has, if you have a ship with docking capability, and tells you whether you have medical or recreation facilities on board as well. For spaceports, above colonies and things like that, star bases, whatever, you're going to want medical and recreation. That improves the happiness of the colonies. For your larger ships, my carriers, my capital ships, they're going to have medical facilities on as well, because they will help if you get boarded, you have a boarding defense strength. Your crew basically can benefit from having a medical center. But for my smaller ships, I generally don't bother with medical centers. Okay, and then in the top center is a list of warnings for the ship. Items in red are mandatory. For the design that you're building, you have to have these type, and they're somewhat determined by the role of the ship. So if I change this over to a carrier, you would see that it would have a warning here that I have to have 40% fighter base on the ship. So it's a little bit determined by the type of ship that you have. And then yellow items are suggested components. Now the key thing for when you're building a ship from scratch is the way items are populated in this list here is the order that they are built onto the ship when they're being built, or repaired when they're being repaired. So an item that's damaged at the very top of the list is going to be repaired before anything below it. So you want your critical items at the top of the design and your less critical at the bottom. Which means I always start with my command center, because without a command center, nothing else matters. Nothing can happen. After this, it's a little bit of personal preference. I generally put my reactor on next, because if you take a look at the command center, it's got an energy requirement, static energy used of 2. Without a fission reactor, I have no energy. I have an energy shortage, actually. So I generally put my reactors on second. That ensures that my command center is powered and able to do something, and gives me some energy for items that are not damaged below in the list. Next, depending on the ship type, I might put my shields on, or I might put my engines on. This is kind of a matter of preference. For this particular design, I'm probably going to go with shields. And most of my military ships, I probably go with shields, followed by my hyperdrive. So if everything down below this was damaged, let's say, and let's say my command center took a critical hit as well and was damaged, and I sent a construction ship out to repair it, that command center would be repaired first. Once that is repaired, assuming these 3 are still undamaged, this hyperdrive would allow me to get out of town. So this is kind of the way that I start putting things together. Next, I normally put cabin life support on, because you need those. They're post build, they're not as critical, but they help improve the if you have too few life support or HAB modules due to damage, your ship becomes less efficient. So I generally try to get those next. Then I follow that with my fuel cells and my in-system engines and anything else I need to round out the ship. Weapons and things like that are always one of the last things that I put on the design. So we will now go with the fuel cell. And right now I'm just putting placeholders on. I'm going to have to up the number on many of these as I increase the design. So I've got a fuel cell, and then I've got my engine. Okay, now because it's a military ship, I have to have weapons. Salt pods do not count as weapons. I'm not sure if I think they do. Let's just use the, you know what, let's put, I don't think this counts as a weapon. It does not. But a graviton beam does. So we'll use a graviton beam. Graviton beam, I haven't used this yet on one of my ships. They are damaged ships with a blast of powerful gravity waves. They bypass both shields and armor. And they're more effective on closer and smaller targets, because this ship that's going to close in on whatever it's trying to capture, I like using the graviton beam on this. We're also going to put a tractor beam on so that we can capture and hold ships in place and prevent them from escaping. Now you notice that life and support and HAB modules came up. As my ship size increases, I need more of those to crew the ship. So we'll come down here, we'll add a couple, and I'll add a couple extra of them as well, just because I know I'm going to need them. We'll go with 3 more of each for now. I'm not going to go heavy on weapons. Okay, here's another thing that I pay attention to. Since this is going to be part of a fleet, I try to keep my fleet all, especially my military fleets, all at max speed for the drive technology that I'm using. So if I take a look at my Jerix hyperdrive, I have a max speed of 15,000. If you look over here at my actual speed for my design, my hyperspeed is only at 8,000 right now. So I need to add another fission reactor, and that will bump that up. That will boost that to max hyperspeed now. That also gives me an excess energy of output of 110 here. I'm using 10. I have 120 total available. Excess of 110. You want this number here to exceed this number down here, especially for your combat ships. As you add more weapons, those weapons take more energy to fire. If you don't have enough excess output, you cannot do an alpha strike with your ship, or some of your weapons will be firing sporadically, and you won't be at full combat efficiency. So I always make sure that this number is smaller than this number up here. Okay, so we've got the base. Now all we have to do is flesh it out. No, we don't have the base. Did we add our assault pod? We don't have an assault pod. We need to add assault pods. Obviously, it's a boarding ship. Each assault pod down here has an assault strength of 50 right now, with a range of 140. As I improve tech, these will improve as well. But I'm going to go with this. I've got an assault per destroyer now. Each destroyer of this design will have a total assault strength of 200. My boarding strength for this design is 224. Excuse me. So I can theorize that a ship of approximately this size is going to have approximately the same strength mine has. I mean, it's going to differentiate a little bit based on text and whatnot, but size dictates the number of HAB modules you have on board, and the number of HAB modules is what affects this boarding defense strength. Now, something like this would not be anywhere near capable of assaulting a spaceport, but something like this is not going to be operating in a vacuum either. I'll have 4 or 5 of these in each fleet probably, which would put my boarding strength per fleet up to about 1,000. And again, that will be improving shortly. So, and I might add more of those assault modules here as I flesh out the design. I still have room for 234 points worth of ship build here. Because it is going to be closing in on ships and spaceports as quickly as possible, I'm going to want it to be fairly heavily armored and shielded. And I'll go with that. And I need some speed on it, obviously, because, again, it wants to get in as quick as possible. So let's boost the speed now. And this is where I'm going to spend a lot of my available size. Give it a bit better turn radius. Speed is still good. Excess energy. Okay, the assault pods had an energy use of 6 per. So that's 24. So my overall energy is still good here. My range, I need to boost my range. I don't have enough range on the ships. Again, I want to keep it up with the rest of my military ships, which are about a 5-sector range. Drop my speed a little bit, but that's not too bad. Hello there, Bliss. How are you doing? Been running for about an hour this morning. Yep. You didn't miss much. First 30 or 40 minutes was just a recap, a little bit of explanation about some of the things that had gone on, and some basic explanation about some other things. You're catching me in the middle of the design of a boarding destroyer. I'm boarding an assault class destroyer, which is going to be heavy on boarding enemy ships and spaceports. I have already gone through and created a combat destroyer. So this is differentiated a little bit by being a boarding an assault destroyer. Okay, I think I'm happy with this overall design. It's got a good speed. I've got enough energy. I like its defenses. I might go ahead and throw countermeasures on. I'm not going to worry about a targeting computer, obviously, but I will throw a countermeasure system on, which will help keep targeting computers, make it harder for targeting computers to tag them. Maybe one more assault pod. I don't want to max the size of this. That gets into cruiser size in my mind, so I don't want to get too much bigger than what I am. But that's now a boarding strength of 250 per ship. And I think I am going to be happy with this design. Am I missing anything critical? Let's just go up the list. I don't need rec centers or med centers on this. Maybe a med center would help on this type of ship. Benefit the citizens of the colony. Also provide rapid healing of any troops on board a ship or base. You know what? I will. I have troops on board, so I might as well add a med center. Life support and HABs are still good. I don't need labs. I've got the command center. I don't need countermeasures, docking bays, plants. My turn radius is good. My range is close, and I'll add one more fuel cell. No, you know what? Yeah, I will. I want it to stay at least 5. Okay, we're going to call this good. Yeah, the auto design is good when you upgrade tech types. For instance, if you're in a pre-warp, you start with basic fuel cells and basic reactors. When you get the appropriate tech to go to standard fuel cells and standard and fission reactors, if you click the auto upgrade, what it does is it replaces all your old components that have a new counterpart with the new ones. It, however, does not add any new components. So let's say you're starting in the pre-warp and you have a basic reactor and basic fuel cells and no shields on it. what I do, and let's say you research the new fuel cells, the new reactor, and the new shields and armor. I click the auto upgrade. It replaces all my standard fuel cells and all of my reactors, but then I go in and manually upgrade the design and add the shields and armor, because the auto upgrade doesn't add anything that didn't already have a counterpart. So you saw me, you'll see me here when I complete. Okay, we need to assign this. This is an assault destroyer. So we'll call this the Cast-Offs military ship. There is no AS class, right? I can start this with an AS and know what it is. I can. We'll call this the Assassin. I think I misspelled that. Why does that look weird? I think I have an extra letter in there. Maybe? Close enough. I know what it is. I think that's right. Okay. So we'll save that. So I could go in here, for instance, if I were to take this cruiser. This is I think that's a stock cruiser. I haven't updated it yet. Let's take a quick look at it. I haven't built any. Yeah, this is a good example. So this still has the small fuel cells, basic space reactors, and all of the base